In the bustling city of Ibadan, where the nights are alive with the hum of generators and the dance of flickering streetlights, a mystery began to unfold. Chinedu had just moved into an old apartment, a place with stories etched into its very walls. While unpacking, he discovered an ancient, dusty landline phone tucked away in a drawer, a forgotten relic from another time. He thought nothing of it, assuming it was just a broken piece of the past. But then, the first call came. At exactly midnight, a chilling, metallic ring echoed through the entire flat. It was a sound so sharp, so out of place, it made the air stand still. Chinedu froze. Hesitantly, he lifted the receiver. A trembling voice, barely a whisper, spoke his name. Chinedu, before the line went dead, leaving only a dial tone and a racing heart. He tried to dismiss it as a prank, a faulty line, but the next night, at the stroke of midnight, it rang again. Whenever he mentioned the mysterious calls to his neighbors, a strange unease would fall over them. They'd avoid his gaze, their faces tightening, and mutter warnings to mind his business. Their fear only fueled his curiosity. Night after night, the calls continued. The voice on the other end grew clearer, less fragmented. It spoke in desperate pleas, sentences of someone begging for help, someone trapped. More unsettling still, the voice knew things about Chinedu's life, details he had never shared with a single soul. He knew he couldn't ignore it any longer. This wasn't a prank. It was a cry from the shadows. Determined to unravel this haunting puzzle, Chinedu reached out to his tech-savvy friend, Ayo. He needed to trace the phone's old number to find out who it belonged to. Ayo, with his knack for digging through digital archives, made a startling discovery. The phone line was registered to a young woman, a woman who had vanished from that very same building 10 years ago. Her disappearance was sudden, shrouded in suspicion, and whispered rumors pointed to her landlord, a powerful man who, Chinedu realized with a jolt, still lived just one floor above him. The mystery was no longer just about a voice. It was about a life that had been erased. As Chinedu delved deeper, the atmosphere in the apartment building grew heavier, more menacing. The corridors seemed to stretch and darken before his eyes. The lights would flicker and die without warning. Shadows moved with an unnatural grace, twisting and dancing in the corners of his vision. The old landline itself seemed to be possessed by a growing energy. As midnight approached each night, it would vibrate violently, its plastic body rattling against the wooden table as if trying to break free. The calls were becoming more urgent, the voice more desperate. He felt he was on the edge of a terrible truth. On the seventh night, the voice on the phone finally revealed its identity. "My name is Ngozi," it whispered, the words laced with a decade of sorrow. She was the missing tenant. She pleaded with him, her voice a desperate echo from the past. Before she was silenced, she had hidden evidence, proof that would expose the landlord's criminal empire. But he was getting close, she warned. He was planning to destroy it all. She begged Chinedu to find it before it was lost forever. It was a race against time, a race to bring justice to a ghost. With Ngozi's spectral guidance echoing in his mind, Chinedu and Ayo knew they had to act fast. They snuck out into the damp night air, their goal the old, forgotten storage room behind the building. The lock was rusted, but they managed to pry it open. Inside, dust hung thick in the air, illuminated by their phone flashlights. After a frantic search, they found it, a dusty, unassuming box. Inside was a treasure trove of darkness documents, cassette tapes with muffled recordings, and a torn, faded journal. It was all there. Ngozi's journal revealed everything. She had stumbled upon the landlord's criminal activities and had been systematically gathering proof. But he discovered her plan. He silenced her before she could ever go to the police. Clutching the box, they fled the storage room, their hearts pounding. They had to get this evidence to the police. But as they rounded the corner of the building, a figure stepped out from the shadows, blocking their path. It was the landlord. His face was a mask of cold fury. "Going somewhere," he sneered, his voice dripping with menace. Just as he lunged towards them, a sound cut through the tense silence. It was the unmistakable, metallic ring of the old landline, but it wasn't midnight. Chinedu, acting on pure instinct, pulled out his own cell phone and answered the forwarded call. The voice that came through was not Ngozi's whisper. It was a thunderous, spectral roar that boomed from the small speaker, a sound filled with all the rage and pain of a decade spent in darkness. The landlord stopped dead in his tracks. His eyes widened in pure terror as the disembodied voice accused him, its words echoing his darkest secrets. He collapsed to his knees, his confession spilling out in a torrent of panicked, broken words, as if the past itself had finally come to claim its due. Moments later, the wail of sirens filled the night. The police, alerted by a panicked AO, arrived to find the landlord sobbing on the ground, the evidence box lying open beside him. Justice, long delayed, had finally been served. After that night, after the arrest, the old landline phone fell silent. It never rang again. In the final, quiet moments of the story, we see Chinedu standing on his balcony as a new day dawns over Ibadan. The first rays of sunlight touch his face, chasing away the long shadows of the night. He looks out over the waking city, a sense of peace settling over him. He whispers to himself, his voice carried on the morning breeze. Some voices don't disappear. They just wait for someone brave enough to listen. As the camera slowly pulls away, showing the vast, glowing cityscape, you're left with a lingering, eerie feeling. Some stories, you realize, never truly end. Thanks for watching. If this story sent a chill down your spine, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more mysteries from the shadows.